and welcome to the Collapse Experiment, where I discuss. I'm not really doing the news today. Doing something else instead. Uh, Possibly my own personal collapse. How scary is that? So, I got this feeling. It kind of started last week that my current employer is how should I put it politely, looking to get rid of me. We had some management changes, new people were brought in, and I've seen this before at previous places where I've worked, where the new guy comes in, has to set an example, and it's not just one, it's two new. There's like the head manager, and then there's the supervisor. So two new guys within a very short time span. And things were different with the old bosses, and now these guys are coming in and they're allegedly doing things by the book, except what I've noticed is they haven't quite figured out how things operate at the facility I work at yet. But with the company I work for, they have their standards and their rules, and those are usually followed. And anyways, last week the head of the union was sent my way, and he was told that by management that I was refusing to do certain things and stay to the end of my shift, which I found amusing because I know that if they actually look at the time cards and when people leave, I'm usually the last one out the door. So I don't know where exactly that came from, but that was an immediate red flag, considering it's not something I've ever done. And then, over the weekend, I have a job where I have to operate on my own, unsupervised, all day on Saturday. There's one coworker, but he takes a separate truck and we go out on separate routes. Whoever is the last one in the building has to lock up and make sure that things are secure. And not only was the other person I was working with switched out with someone else, but I was told that I had to make the drive out of town, which automatically meant I was the one that was going to be locking up the building. So during that early shift, while we're organizing stuff before we hit the road, the other driver makes a comment to me that most people where I work operate under the assumption that they're always being watched. Literally and figuratively. The device we use to make deliveries has GPS on it, so at any given time, anyone can look on the computer and see where you're at. And that's always a given. So, went about my day, made my deliveries. I had one stop that I had to wait an hour before I could go in and see if there was anything to pick up. Ended up making the drive out of town, came back, the other driver was already gone, go into the building. There's two doors to the building. There's the customer service door, which is the one that operates just fine. And then there's the employee door where you don't dare put the key in it because one day that key is going to break and it's just going to be another bitch fest at work. But they've known about that door for probably longer than I've worked there. It's always been an issue during the winter. It ices over, which means you really can't use it. So it's been an ongoing thing. So anyways, I get back to the building. I go in through the front door, lock it behind me, go inside, open the door to put the truck inside, park the truck, close the door, use the bathroom, change out of my uniform, go downstairs, turn the power off to the doors to make sure everything's secure, check the front door again because I had this weird inkling, this weird feeling that I was going to hear something on Monday. I just had that feeling. So I did everything on Saturday perfect. Okay? I didn't do anything out of even that hour I had waiting for that one stop. I sat in the parking lot. I did not go anywhere. I did not do anything. So I go back to the front door, double check it. It's locked. It's secure. I go and I grab the key. I exit out the side door, the employee door, made sure that was locked behind me. Put the key in the drop box, and I went home. So what's the one thing the boss says to me yesterday as soon as I get in? I was the last one out of the building. The front door was found unlocked on Monday morning. And I was the only person that could have been responsible for that. So, yeah. I'm kind of standing there. I'm shocked, for one, because I'm going over everything in my head. I'm like, I changed my clothes. I double checked it. And, yeah, there's zero chance. There's no possible way that I left that door unlocked. The other thing he might not know is that the mechanic that we have, the new mechanic, has been coming in on Sundays and working on trucks while nobody's there. And I'm not saying it was him, but considering that every other employee who works there, drivers especially, know the key to that lockbox and are able to get the key to the building. If somebody left something in the office, if they needed to get something out of their locker, yada, 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 anybody could have gone in that building. And there's no security. There's no cameras. There's no security system that alarms when a door is unlocked. Like, nothing. So, I'm finding this all very interesting. That's twice now I have been accused of something, and in both cases, either one, there's zero proof that it was me. If the door, I'm just going to put this out there, if the door was even found unlocked, okay, I just think the whole Saturday situation was just very fishy. For one, setting it up so that I would be the last person out the door. And two, having it so that, they could point the finger at me for something that really can't even be confirmed. So, I don't know. It could be paranoia, but I've been through stuff like this before. And I just wouldn't be surprised if that is what is happening. I've seen that. I've seen it happen to other people at other jobs. New management comes in. They want to shake things up. And I am, what's sad, I haven't been there a year, and I'm the old guy on my shift. Everyone else is new. Everyone on my shift is new. I've been there longer than my evening shift boss. And she comes to me asking, how do I work this scanner? How do I do this? Could you do that? Like, it's pretty amusing that, the previous boss, she made a point to say, like, you want to get trained on this, this, and this. That way you're indispensable and they can't get rid of you. I don't think these new people care. So that is my situation. And there's some other sketchy stuff going on. I signed up for this. Well, how should I put this? I was voluntold that I was going to be trained to be what they call an air driver, meaning I go to the airport, I can access the airport, I load a plane, I unload a plane. There are certain procedures that need to be followed. So it was supposed to be Monday through Friday with the occasional Saturday thrown in for extra hours. Come to find out, after the old bosses leave, I am the only part-time driver who is trained on doing the air driving. And according to the union contract that I have never been able to access, get a copy of, see on my own, once you are certified for that job, they can force you to work every Saturday for a year. Which is exactly the opposite of what I was told. So, yeah, and that same conversation I had with the head of the union, he said that to me, and I said, that's not what I was told. The previous boss said this, and his response was, he lied to everybody. So you have the head of the union admitting that management lied to employees. I'm the fourth air driver that they've had in 9 months. That should probably tell you something. So everyone else quit. In particular, one guy actually made it to full-time driver, which is usually the goal at this place. And when he was told that he was being forced to work a Saturday, he just fucking walked out. He's like, this is bullshit. I did my time. I'm not doing it. Fuck you. I'm out of here. And, I kind of look back on that and I just smile because it's like they put themselves in that position. Now they've got a truck with no driver. Granted, it was only for that day, but it affects the other drivers. And when you're shitty to one driver, it can affect all the drivers. So, yeah. Again, I've still never seen this union contract. Any job that I was told that I was going to train on, I've never seen an actual written job description as to the qualifications, the hours, the days, what's required, the pay. I don't even know what the fucking pay is for half this stuff. It's just blurted out by management. And it's like, oh, it's more money. It's blah, blah, blah. And come to find out, the person unloading the trucks at night, which is supposed to be the bottom of the ladder job, gets paid more than I do to go to the airport and have more responsibility. Which is fucking fantastic. Yeah, when I first started doing that job, it was during the holiday season, and one of the reasons I signed up was I was told it was $21 an hour. What I was not told is that once the holiday season is over, it drops down to 15. So the majority of the year, you are working for less than what the people who are unloading the trucks at night are paid, which is the job I was doing. And then I was told I was going to be trained on all this other stuff. And the more responsibility I've gotten, the more shit on I have been. It's weird. It is so weird. You know, I used to have this belief, this idea that the more responsibility you take on, the more doors open for you. At least in a functioning society, in a good workplace, that's how it's supposed to go. But in this case, not so much. And for the most part, I really just wanted to have a job where I could go to work, do what I'm supposed to do, go home, get my check, and just be left the fuck alone. And that is not happening. So the other thing with this job is it's one of the few places that offers benefits like health, dental, vision, for working part-time. It's one of the few places that do that. So right now my kids, my wife, and I all have health care. And there's nothing that comes out of my check. It's all paid for by the company. But there's a trade-off there, because it would appear that the people in charge have this inkling, this idea that you are then beholden to them. That because of that, like, they can tell you whatever they want whatever it is they want you to do, you're going to do it. Whether it's working every fucking weekend for the next year without telling you, getting less pay for more responsibility, which they don't tell you. But the moment you have health insurance, that's when all that stuff really kicks in. If you complain, your ass is out the door. The only thing I ever complained about was, and again, I didn't know this either, because I don't have access to the union contract or any of the job descriptions. I did not know that they could not force me to work past 10 o'clock at night on the shift that I was working, which is hysterically funny considering the number of times I worked until 11, 11:30. One of the other people that I worked with was there until 1:30 in the morning parking trucks. And yeah, so this is, and this was not our doing. This was the fact that our shift is supposed to have 5 or 6 people. There's 2 of us. Me, one of them, who ended up leaving, I think, at 11 that night because I had to drive the next morning. DOT hours. Got to keep track of your DOT hours. Yeah, so that wasn't our doing. That was not hiring people for the shift. So yeah, that's happened on several occasions. And I was also told it's not my responsibility to train other people. If they ask you to do it, I have to be paid 50 cents per hour. Which means this company owes me a lot of fucking money because I trained a lot of people. It's so interesting what they can get away with when they hide information and you don't know a damn thing. So, yeah, that's what I'm dealing with now. It's like I'm stuck in this job. There appears to be no end to working weekends. That was one of the things I liked about this job, was I didn't have to work weekends. That was something I did at my previous job, where I was working Saturdays and Sundays and go back Monday. And then with this one, it was Monday through Friday. It was evenings. It was a short shift. And that's all changing. And yeah, it's just it's so funny. You ask a question, next thing you know, somebody's being sent your way saying, "Well, according to the contract," and my response last time was, "You mean the contract I've never seen?" Well, you can go to the website, the one you've never written down. Like, how does the head of the union, and we have two guys, how does the head of the union not have a business card with the fucking website on it that he can hand out to employees if he's not going to keep the goddamn books with all the details in it? They have had 0 copies of the actual printed out contract and job descriptions for every job at this place since I've worked there. Well, we don't have any printed copies. You can't go to this magical imaginary website and order some? Seems a little fishy to me. So, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what's going on. The funny thing is, usually something like that is done on a Friday. Although I feel like the last person that they fired, which the boss was kind of bragging about to somebody else. And then the conversation stopped when they realized I was in the room. But yeah, I think that might have been on a Monday. So I don't know. Maybe they don't do the Friday rule thing to, it's supposed to reduce the chances of any incidences when somebody's fired. At least that's what I've always been told. I don't know if it happened. You mean I have tomorrow off? Fucking awesome. Why didn't you do this sooner? So yeah, it's I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I just know that things have been very questionable lately. When I told my wife what was going on, well, told her what was going on last week when the union guy came to talk to me. And when I said to her, yeah, so I'm supposed to be working every Saturday for a year. And she was just like, that's not worth it. She's like, we have 2 little kids. I'm never home in the evening. Now I don't get a weekend because Sunday is basically the only day I really have off. That's been doing things around here. So, yeah, she was just, she was like, we can just go back on Medicaid. Like, if that's the way they're going to do things. But in the meantime, go to work, just watch my head, hope to be left alone. But I don't know, that whole Saturday thing, I felt like I was being set up. Again, I acted like I was being watched the whole time. I probably was, because the boss even said he was in a neighboring town and that he would be monitoring us. So, again, I knew we were being watched. And I know for a fact, 100%, I double checked the door. I also know that there's no possibility they know whether or not I was the last person in the building that weekend. So, it's kind of a back and forth. But yeah, I just gives you an uneasy feeling. It's like how people operate. It's weird. I don't like it. And who knows? If it does happen, maybe it's for the best. It probably is for the best. And considering how things are changing in the next week or two, if the story pans out, if oil does go up to $185 a barrel, odds are there's going to be layoffs anyway, so maybe they're doing me a favor. We'll see. Any thoughts? You guys been through anything like this? Let me know. It's been quite the ride. Very interesting. Definitely not the place I thought I was working for. So keep on typing.